Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I guess this video is kind of sad for us Deathly Hallows fans because it seems like in the near future we won't be getting any LEGO Harry Potter Deathly Hallows sets according to an interview segment hosted by Tips and Bricks where they've asked questions to the LEGO Harry Potter designers. This made me quite sad because I was so looking forward to getting Deathly Hallows sets in the future, and knowing that we won't be getting any because of violence, if you will, makes me feel very, very sad. So in this video, I'll be reading the interview segment and sharing with you guys my thoughts on the response by the LEGO designers. You guys know how much I wanted to see the Malfoy Manor come into LEGO form, but it seems like it won't be happening anytime soon, unfortunately, so rest in peace to that. So basically they've asked, looking at the books and movies you've covered in recent years, with roughly 2 covered in a year, but noticeably only 1 set from book 6 and none from 7, are there plans for sets from later movies, or potentially not because they're not as child-friendly? The response from the LEGO designer Marco Spesa says, for the first few years of the relaunch we had a clear strategy of focusing on the first few movies, then to move on to 4 and 5. For 2021 we had a blank slate and got to look back at what we can do that's fresh to keep the franchise relevant. That's where we decided to go for a soft restart on the story. So instead of looking at a specific movie, we decided to look at key moments. We reflected on what started the franchise, picking some of these strong sets and reinvented them to fit how we design sets now as a love letter to the first sets. It's definitely not to say that we won't cover the later movies at some point, but they do tend to be aimed at a higher age. Cough, cough, nudge, nudge, hint, hint. Me, for instance, and all you guys, which is why we target the first few movies. Our overall values are more in line with the first few movies, where there's more magic and the universal theme of the wizarding school is more in line with our values. I definitely think we're creative enough to sneak in things here and there, so who's to say what will come in the future? Marcos Besa. Honestly, kids watch everything these days. They're into violence, they're into violent video games, they're into violent themes. So I feel like LEGO should look into that and consider that, nowadays kids are into violent things. So if you're going to watch one Harry Potter movie, you're obviously going to watch the rest of them, if you're into the franchise at least. And the part where the designer says they're going to try and sneak things here and there, I feel like that could lead to a Gringotts spank. So obviously we need that for the Diagon Alley as an extension. So I guess the little sneak peek could be the dragon on top of Gringotts and maybe like a little cart featuring the little getaway or robbery rather in the Gringotts Bank from the Deathly Hallows, but they won't explicitly state that. And as for the Malfoy Manor idea that I've been speaking about for years, I feel like it's highly unlikely at this point, considering they've tried making it but then they canceled it. I guess it's too violent or whatever, but as an adult Harry Potter fan, I really wanted to see that, but sadly it's not going to happen. And I guess Hermione did get tortured in Malfoy Manor, so that's not really good for LEGO and their values and stuff like that. I really enjoyed the Deathly Hallows and the Malfoy Manor scenes. As for that, we've also never seen Grimmauld Place in LEGO form before, so that means no Creature. I guess Creature is too scary and violent for LEGO just because he looks like a worn out rat or something, but I hope LEGO make it either way. I hope he doesn't look too scary to make him LEGO form. Speaking of violence, in 2019, we got the Goblet of Fire set for the Rise of Voldemort, which I love so much. It's probably my favorite set from 2019, and I think that it's fantastic. And it's pretty violent because Peter Pettigrew did a little something to Cedric Diggory, which resulted in an unprecedented death that no one saw coming. And yeah, like I said earlier, adults tend to buy the Harry Potter sets, and I guess children do too because they feel like it's attractive and they're into Harry Potter. But once again, if a child watches Harry Potter, that means they've most likely watched all the movies and they don't mind the violence. So making sets based on a little violence shouldn't really hurt anyone and should be very exciting for people to collect. Because people like myself in the AFOL community can handle violence, it just makes me sad that we won't be getting any Deathly Hallows sets. However, I totally understand LEGO's values and, their principles and stuff like that. If I was in charge of LEGO, I would go full steam ahead with Deathly Hallows sets, but sadly I am not in charge, and I can't really dictate LEGO's decisions and stuff like that. But notice how they said for the time being they won't be making any Deathly Hallows sets. Maybe in the future they'll soften up, or I guess in this case, harden up and make some Deathly Hallows violent sets, but in the time being, I don't see it coming. Expect a D2C Dobby sock in the future. Don't blame me, blame LEGO. And yeah, that's it for this video. Bye guys.